with any real intent to be negative, but how do we call that? What do you call that when you're complaining to somebody? Just, just to get it off your chest. What do we call it? Venting, exactly. Is there such a thing as venting?
I think so.
Yes. I think what I will clarify venting. Venting in this clinic setting, there's no such thing. There's no such thing if you're venting. All you're doing if you're venting is solving your problem with somebody else. Or sharing your problem with somebody else. And so you're essentially drawing somebody else into the problem that either isn't part of it because they're not going to be solving it. They weren't a part of it to begin with, but now they are. And so the way I look at it, and so this is where I take the word venting and I change it, it's essentially like vomiting on somebody. No, seriously. You know what? You got an issue with a staff member and you just got to get it off your chest, so you're going to go share it with somebody else. Say, you know what? I can't believe she did this again. Whatever. All right, so you've just spewed right over somebody. They're here at work doing their job, taking a dog's temperature, or maybe they just walked in the door. Bam, there's vomit all over them. And so now they've got to get the vomit off, or they're going to rub it on you, one or the other. Okay? So you're either going to share in it. So, all right, so what's the intent there? You either want somebody to share in it and go, oh yeah, you're right, they shouldn't have treated you that way. Or you're going to have somebody who is not feeling that same way. Either way, it's divisive. You're either teaming up against somebody, or you're bringing a problem to somebody who doesn't share it. So here, there's no such thing as venting. And I've had staff members who say, yeah, people come to me and vent, just get it off their chest. No, that's not what happens. That's not what happens. So just take venting out of your vocabulary. If you want to put vomiting in, that's fine. But if you want to vomit on somebody else, do it on your own time and not in the clinic. So, what's our plan? Look at this. See, we are going to listen, hear, and act. We are going to make sure that if you have a complaint, that you know where to bring it, you know we're going to hear it, and you know we're going to act on it. Okay, we may not act the way you want us to. We may not fire the person you're mad at that day, or we may not give you the first parking place because you want that one instead. And I'm not saying anybody would ask for that, but know that we're going to hear it and know that we will act. And when I say we, that's leadership, that's doctors, that's the people who are in the supervisory position. And we're committed to ensuring that we address the complaints, consider solutions, and act accordingly. This is really important. Successful, positive companies with positive employees and positive cultures are created just like anything else. So through a set of principles, processes, systems, and habits are ingrained in corporate culture and each individual employee is how that occurs. Positive companies are not born, they're developed. So that's what that's why this is the foundation. That's why I took time out of Becky's schedule today to go with this, because I think it's very important. So we're transitioning to our plan. So we have okay. So first principle is a positive environment and culture are everything. Okay, we need to create a positive culture where negativity cannot breed. See, that one's a legal picture, it's not things. Positive leadership is required. Positive energy flows from the top down. It trickles up and moves sideways, but it flows from the top down. Positive leadership is essential, so consider that fact if you're ever considering a position of leadership on the team. That you have got to be the positive person. Here's my examples of positive leadership. There's Lincoln, Churchill, amazing. Can you imagine having a little tiny country being bombed every day? How many days were they bombed here in England, in the Blitzkrieg?
For probably 35 days about
So for a month, Winston Churchill ran England during World War II, or he was the Prime Minister. For an entire month, every single day, every night, the bombers came in and dropped bombs on London. Every day. And he had to run that country, and he had to stay positive. And his comment was never, never, never give up. So, and and I laugh. It's funny, I laugh when I put that picture in, because there I am with Lincoln and Churchill, but you know what? I take it just as seriously. I absolutely do. And I joke about it being about me sometimes, guys, especially when I'm here as the only doctor. But it's not about me at all. It's not. It's about us. It's about us. So, the secret of winning is cultivating the team in a positive manner, so we must relentlessly make our culture and people a priority at all levels of the organization. So the roots are the culture, the people, and the spirit. That's what we're tending, is the culture, the people, and the spirit. The fruit, that's what we're going to get from the business, is the profits and the numbers. So people think you need to measure the numbers, but if we're not cultivating our culture, our people, and our spirit, then we're never going to, achieve the success that we like. So we should measure the success, but we need to focus on the people. John Wooden, he's a famous basketball coach. What is he, like 12-time NCAA championships or something like that? Just amazing. I've read his information. It's just amazing. But he worked on the fundamentals, skills, character, and teamwork. It wasn't about winning. Winning is a byproduct of the effort, the leadership, the coaching, the teamwork, and the positive attitude. Oh, here's the big guest. That's a hard-working man over there like that. Okay, so trust. Trust must permeate the organization. So this is the fourth principle. There must be trust. And the number one thing that employees and customers want to know is, can I trust you, and do you care about me? So there's only one way to gain trust, and that's to say what you're going to do and do what you say. You lead with truth, and success will follow. We all are here for the same reason. We're all here for the same reason. We want to serve people. We want to take care of animals. We want to take care of each other. So we have to assume our good intentions. We have to assume. We have to assume. I cannot assume that somebody has the wrong intention if they're continuing to work there. Because that undermines the trust. So nobody is intentionally ever causing intention to cause harm. Now, we're all human. We're going to make mistakes. Somebody's going to drop the ball. I'm going to forget the estimate. But you're going to go, oh, sorry, I forgot that estimate. It must have been because she was here after hours getting ready for this presentation. She noticed a client's chart on her desk as somebody who was desperate to get lab results. She stopped to call the lab, then called the people, made the arrangements, made the appointment, made the notes on the computer. She probably just dropped that one little thing. Instead of going, dang, Dr. Lyons, she dropped that estimate again. So it's really important to trust people's intention. Okay, so how do we do that? We fill the void with positive communication. This is very interesting. It takes 5 positive interactions to offset 1 negative interaction. So the day you come in and you're crabby because of whatever, it's cold, or your car wouldn't start, or you're just in a bad mood, or you don't want to be here, or whatever. It takes 5 more days of coming in and doing the happy dance to essentially erase that. And I have to say, this is a really important point for me to say, that I know that I personally struggle with a critical spirit. I do. I struggle with it every day. I see things the way, as like Don Quixote, I see things the way they should be, and when they are not there, I'm critical. It's the perfectionist in me, I believe. It's never an intent to be critical of an individual. It's never intent to do harm, but sometimes I know when I point out things that can feel critical or harmful. So I'm the first to say, I'm going to work very, very hard on filling the positive gap myself. So if you've gotten a negative vibe from me, or feel like there's any negativity, understand that I am human as well, and I'm going to take all this to heart too. Plus, I think it'd be easier and take less time to fill us up with positives than having to make up with the negatives. I'll run out of fingers and toes. We do have to confront a situation to get past it. So if there is an issue, we've got to confront it. And somebody one time said, and I thought this was very eloquent, that you've got to notice the bumps before you can smooth them out. But if we have more positive and negative, then we'll be more productive. Okay, so with a positive culture that fosters positive communication, and then use our communication network to become solution and innovation focused, we can listen to each other, encourage others to share their ideas with us. Doesn't this sound like a wonderful place to work if it's like this? This includes our complaints. If we listen to them and collect their ideas, we will become a company that harnesses the power of its people. We will turn great ideas into successful innovation, and we will turn problems and complaints into solutions. Okay, we're we're going to celebrate successes. So as people bring these items to us, as we're going to make changes and solve problems, we're going to make sure that we're all wearing that. Okay, so how do we monitor and enforce the no complaining rule? There are no complaining tools. And we're going to zip through these because I don't have them for everybody. But here's the rule. Snoopy always makes everything simple. There's a couple of ways to do it. The but to a positive technique. So for instance, man, my car wouldn't start today, but I've got a car. You know? I don't have to drive a scooter to work on a day like this. You know, I'm so tired. I'm just not sure that I want to go to work today. But I've got a job. There's a lot of people out there that don't. And I've got a job that I like. Wow. There's a lot of people out there that work at jobs that they don't like. Oh my gosh. How lucky are we? Focus on get to instead of have to. There is absolutely nothing in this world that you have to do except die. Nothing. Nothing. You cannot come to me with anything that you have to do. It's always a choice. It's always a choice. So if you avoid the have to and say I get to go home and make dinner tonight. So I gotta go home and make dinner again. And think of the family that you're going home to and make that dinner. Or yourself. Say, you know what? I'm an important person. I'm going to feed myself right tonight. I'm not going to, I get to take good care of myself. I get to go to the gym and work out. A lot of people don't get to do that. Turn complaints into solutions. So 5 things to do instead of complain. Practice gratitude. Praise others. That's always a good one. Focus on successes. Let go. And pray or meditate. Here's our tools. We can post these around. Different things. No complaining. No complaining sign. Wanted positive solutions. And there's one. So we're going to try no complaining week. We'll probably try this next week. We actually did the no complaining rule today. The no complaining tools. Monitor your own thoughts for a week and see how negative you can be. We talked about this yesterday. It just happened to come up in the little quote we did yesterday at Huddle. And I was the first negative thought. I will admit it. The first negative thought. And then it was like, oh my gosh, my hair's a wreck again. I can't believe it looks so terrible. I'm already a negative thought. And I just walked away from the meeting that said, don't have a negative thought. And it was about me. For heaven's sakes. I'm like the poster child. This one I got to figure out. And I would love input on this. Create a fun reward/punishment process. Fun is the key when people do complain. It's like the quarter jar when you say a bad word. And provide a personal action plan for no complaining weekend. This is fun too. So day 1, monitor your thoughts and words. It's amazing what comes out of your head. It's amazing what pops into your head and then what pops out of your mouth. Day 2, make a gratitude list. We have so much to be thankful for. Jobs, health, family, work, family, working with animals. Think about how many people want to have our job. It'd be us. Take a thank you walk. Not in this weather. But take a walk and think of all the things you're grateful for, seen and unseen. Focus on the good stuff. Focus on everything that's right. It's so easy to focus on what's wrong. We're naturally problem solvers and want to fix things. Focus on what you get to do, not what you have to do. In the book of Philippians, Paul tells us to avoid anxiety by focusing on these things. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, and praiseworthy. Focus on those things instead of all the bad ones you have, or the news, or all the concerns that you have. Focus on the positives. Start a success journal. Write down all great interactions and accomplishments you had today. Also, if you need more positive life focus, write all your accomplishments in your life. Not all at one time, of course. One book that I read about this, they said, you know what, you don't think about your successes. Because they're already, yesterday's news. Well, when you first learned to walk, your parents were there just like, oh my gosh, woohoo. I was watching videos of Noah and Paul learning how to walk. It's amazing. It's amazing. That is an amazing feat. And now we take it completely for granted. So even just little things like that, and that's a big thing, but it seems little now. It's still a big thing. And then let go. This is really important. This is really important. Make a list of what you'd like to complain about and identify those that are within your control and what things are outside of your control. So what's in your control, identify possible solutions. Write the word surrender next to those which are out of your control. And one suggestion was to make little slips of your things you needed to have a complaint about. And the ones that you have no control about, just put them in a little dish and light them on fire and let them go. They're ashes now. They're out of your control. There's no point in letting them take another minute of your time. And day 7, breathe. Spend 10 minutes in silence. Has anybody ever done that? Spend 10 minutes in silence? Raise your hand if you've done it. That's a long time to be quiet. It really is. It really is. But it helps you focus. Focus on your breathing, praying, meditating. Throughout the day, anytime you feel yourself stressed or wanting to complain, stop for 10 seconds and breathe. Count your breaths and your blessings. Breathe deep. In with the good air and out with the bad. Okay. The end. Or is it just the beginning? Is that cat smiling to be cute? So isn't that exciting? Isn't that a great thing, guys? Do you feel like we have a kind of a better plan as far as handling any concerns or suggestions based on that? And I took Becky's time, and I'm really sorry. When I practiced this, it didn't go this long. I must have just gotten on with it. Okay, how much time do we have? Oh, we have a little bit more time. You should have more to talk about. Okay.
So, just to summarize that, just make sure that you're complaining to the right person at the right time. Appropriate complaint.
Does the leadership team have a plan in effect to like deal with complaints? Like, because sometimes I feel like when we do bring legitimate complaints now, they aren't being heard or aren't being dealt with. Like, is there a plan that everyone's been working on?
I know that there's the little files on the left of AJ's desk for
Yeah.
complaints and concerns.
Oh, that brings up, thank you, that brings up a good point. One of the things was if there was a concern that, and your supervisor wasn't here. So, I know that AJ, we can set up, just write a note, set it on his desk, we talked about writing a note, or if they're not there, if you need to say, hey, I've got a concern about this, catch up with me when you're back in. And Amy, we can leave it on her desk, and Becky, maybe in your file pocket. As far as leadership team, as the leadership team only deals with organizational issues. The any complaints or concerns that are, you just go to your supervisor.
Okay.
And that's on the accountability chart. Those individuals are on the accountability chart. Were you here for the tech team meeting? Because
Yes.
there's the accountability chart,
Yeah.
and it's back there on the board. And so essentially it has got the little arrows as far as who goes what. And so
Okay.
it comes to AJ, let's say it comes to AJ, and he has any questions about it, then he's going to go up the next level or across to facilities or whatever.
Okay.
And then follow through is absolutely a concern. It has been a concern because we haven't had a plan.
Okay.
And so this is addressing that.
Okay.
The plan that is in here is addressing that, and the real take home is take it to the person who can make a change, and that person is arrow up on the accountability chart. Good. Any other questions? Because those are good. That's a good question. And actually, if there are concerns that you feel like have not been addressed, which is what we just said, then now we need to address them.
Okay.
Not right this second.
Oh
but
yeah, just okay.
So bring them back again.
Okay.
We never intend to drop the ball or not solve the problem.
Oh yeah,
But
no,
it's amazing how much it goes on.
well, and I think that'll help a lot with the complaining. If issues are getting addressed, then maybe there won't be things to complain about.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
then the key is when you have a complaint, what's your job? You go to your report, your direct
Yeah.
report, with what?
With some solutions.
The complaint and solutions.
Yeah.
See, because the thing is, if all the complaints are coming to anybody, whether it be a manager, a leadership team, or whoever, then all of a sudden, it's our responsibility to create solutions. Well, we're already working. Okay? I mean, just because we're on the leadership team doesn't mean that we don't have full-time jobs. We have full-time jobs. We actually, and that's been one difficulty with the leadership team, and a specific difficulty for me is that now I have specific time that is taken completely out of my day, that is no longer mine to be a doctor, so that I can work on creating a structure for the clinic. So when people come to us with concerns or complaints and just leave them there with us, it's really hard to solve all those, because everybody's got a complaint. I bet that everybody here could probably come up with a complaint. If that all ended up on AJ's desk, then yeah. So make sure that you bring that complaint and eagerly bring it with some solutions.
All right.
That will really help expedite that situation.
Okay.
all of our new employees, everyone know or have read the employee manual? Does anyone know where they're kept?
I don't know that I've ever been told or received one.
Okay. We have 2 copies of them, and we can show you where they are. We have 2 copies of them, and they are located over by AJ's desk in that bookcase thing. And there's a way that you can check them out if you want to take them home. But if they're kept at the clinic and you just need to refer back to it, that's where they're kept. Does everyone have a locker, a drawer, a mailbox, or something to keep their things in? Okay.
Does anybody not? That's it, okay.
So in the employee manual, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. One of the things I want to talk about is cell phone usage. We need to keep our cell phones in a drawer, in the bin, or in your car, put away somewhere. Cell phones are distractions. And there is appropriate time to have your cell phone out, and that's when you're clocked out. During a break, upstairs in the break room, outside, just not out where everybody can see your cell phone.
And why would that be, guys? Why is that a good rule? It's a distraction. It's important. There's no place that you can work that lets you carry around your phone and text and call and receive calls. There's not. I've polled all the doctors at the well-managed practice groups, and they all have cell phone protocols that involve not being on your person. And there have been complaints that came to us of people texting when they're supposed to be at work, or receiving texts or sending texts when they're on the clock. And every distraction costs 15 minutes, every distraction. And the problem with the cell phones is they don't just distract you. They're not just a distraction for you. You might think, oh, that little buzz is no big deal. It's sitting on the counter over there. But as soon as it starts buzzing, then everybody else is like, oh, what's buzzing? Something's buzzing. Somebody might need blah, 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 blah. It's a distraction.
So just keep your cell phones put away. If you need to check your cell phone, log out and check it and take it to the appropriate area to make a phone call. If there is an emergency and somebody needs to get a hold of you, give them the clinic phone number to get a hold of you, and you can take a phone call that way. The other thing I wanted to kind of talk about is computer usage. We have decided that that we don't need to have our personal Facebook up anymore. We have created a bogus Facebook account that I can give everybody the login and password. It is scienceville.country.clinic@hotmail.com, and the password is our team 5366 exclamation point. And it is linked to the staff Facebook page, and that's all that it's linked to. So the only reason why you should be getting on your personal Facebook page is to check the staff page. So this kind of eliminates having your personal Facebook up
On the clock.
on the
Our ultimate goal is to have a computer upstairs where people can get on Facebook if they're on break or on lunch or whatever. And we just don't have that right now. So if we're clocked out, the only thing is you just need to make sure that you're clocked out. But there's really no reason for you to be on Facebook at the clinic unless you're on a lunch hour.
So our protocol now, if you need to post something to the staff page while you are at work, is that you'll have to just make a comment and then put your name at the end or initials at the end so that we know who it's from. Otherwise, it's all the same person. Is there any questions about that?
And if you have complaints about either of those things, who are you going to address them to? Your next person up on the accountability chart, and you're going to come with a couple of solutions. So, because the thing about this, the neat thing about the complaining rule is, or the no complaining rule, the complaining rule, is that it should empower you. You should be able to say, okay, you know what, I've got an issue, either with something that's going on or maybe even something like this. And I'm going to come up with a couple different solutions because I'm assuming that the leadership team or my supervisor has come up with the best solution that they can come up with based on what's best for the practice and not what's best for me as an individual. So if we're creating something that's best for the practice, we're doing our best. But you know what? I think I might have a better idea. I think I have something that maybe they haven't considered. I think maybe I have a little input that could change that for this direction. So again, I share that.
As far as the housekeeping, there was one more thing. Did you want to talk about?
We just all.